All right, go ahead and make sure you have your packet out from yesterday so that we are going to finish this. Okay, yesterday we went all the way through dividing exponents. Today we're going to do power to power exponents, and then you'll be able to get your worksheet to be able to work on. All right, so to start off, we're going to go ahead, we're going to play this video again. I know y'all love it. Just kidding. Okay, we're not going to do that today. I won't put you through it. But we are going to go ahead and get to be able to start for today. So again, we're going to do power to power. So with power to power, okay, we're going to mark all of our exponential values so they show the exponential form. If it does not have an exponent, insert a 1 to represent this exponent. So if we look on the left-hand side, it says 5a squared, b, c to the fourth, and all of that is going to be raised to the third power. So before we even start to look at raising it to the third power, we're going to go through and for every term that does not have an exponent, we want to go and put a 1 there. So for 5, it did not have an exponent, so we went ahead and we put a 1. Okay, a squared is fine. Then we have b. It also does not have an exponent, so we are going to put a 1 there. And then c4, and all that raised to the third power. Okay, so now that we have this part of it, we can go ahead and we can move on. So, whenever we have the power rule, okay, this exponent, oops, this exponent outside, you are going to distribute that to every single term of the equation or the problem. So if we look, we have 5. The exponent was 1. They multiplied it by 3. Okay, same thing for a. Okay, the exponent was already 2. They went ahead, they distributed that 3, and they multiplied that by 3. Then the exponent for b was 1. So they have 1 times that power of 3. And then you have c, the exponent was already 4, and they distributed that 3 there as well. Okay, so after we distribute, then now we can do a final answer. So what is 1 times 3? 1 times 3 is 3. Then you have a. 2 times 3 is 6, so a to the 6th power. B is 1 times 3, so 3. And C is 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, this would be your ending answer. Okay, also in your calculator, you can do 5 to the 3rd power, which gives you 125. And then you can also write it like that as well. Okay, we'll get more into that next week. Okay, either one of these will work for your quiz. Okay, so that's if it is just a 1 term, it's all being multiplied to each other. Now, next, we can see a fraction. So they're giving us a fraction, we still are going to distribute this number outside of those parentheses. Okay, but we're not only distributing it to the top, we're also going to have to come down and distribute it to the bottom. So again, if it didn't have 1, so forth with this 2, we can write our 1 there. So if once we have that, we are now distributing that 3. We have 2, which is to the 1st power times your 3. Then you have your x, which is the 5th power times that 3 that's distributed. Then you go to the bottom of the fraction. And again, remember, we're distributing to the bottom. So we have 3 times that 3 that we distributed. And then n, which is exponent is 7. And we distribute that 3 there as well. So then now we can go through and we can say, okay, we have 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 for that m is 9. And for n, 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, from here you can leave it as this, or that equals, so 2 to the raised to the third power is 8, and everything else would stay the same. So both of those can be your answer. Both of those will work. Okay, the big thing for power-to-power exponents is just making sure that we are distributing to every single term. So now we're going to work on a couple examples. So we look here. Okay, for number 1, do all of our terms have an exponent? Okay, no, they don't. Okay, our a does not have one, so what do we add? We add a 1. Okay, now that all of my terms have an exponent, I'm going to now distribute what is outside of those parentheses. So I'm going to distribute that 2 to the 1 and as well to the 4. So for a, I would have a to the power of 1 times 2 and b to the power of negative 4 times 2 as well. So 2 times 1 is 2, so we have a squared. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, so you have b to the negative 8. Now, from yesterday, are we done here? No, what do we have to do with this negative 8? We can move to the bottom. So we would have a squared over b to the 8, and that would be our final answer. Okay, for number 2. Do all of our terms have an exponent? No, we don't. Neither one of them do, actually. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a 1 as an exponent to that 5, and a 1 as an exponent to x. So now that we have all of our terms having an exponent, we're going to take this 4, and we are going to distribute it to both of those terms. So we have 5 to the first power times that 4 that we're distributing. Then we have that x to the first power times that 4 that we're distributing, which gives us 5 to the 4th power x to the 4th power. Now, if you were to put this into your calculator, you would get 625, and you would still have your x to the 4th power. Again, just for tomorrow, it's tomorrow being the only time for the quiz, I will take this answer as well. Okay, number 3. If we look, okay, the first thing that we're looking at, do all of our terms have an exponent? Okay, all but 1. This 2 does not, so we're going to add a 1 as its exponent. Then, we're going to distribute, remember outside this 2, to every term. Does that mean top and bottom? Yes, so I need to distribute this 2 to your negative 4 and your 2 as well. So we have 2 to the power of 1 times that 2 we distributed, n to the power of 2 times that 2 that we distributed, divided by n to the negative 4 times the 2 we distributed, and n 2 times that 2 that we distributed. So now that we have this, okay, 1 times 2 is 2, so 2 squared. 2 times 2 is 4, so n to the 4th, divided by and negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now, for this one, are we done? Okay, we're not done here because we see that we have a negative. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring that negative up top. So we would have 2 squared and 4 with that negative up top. So n that changes to a positive 8 divided by n 4. Now are we done? We actually are not done. So we look, do we have any bases that are from the top and the bottom? Okay, we have our ends that are the same. So how do we do that from yesterday? We subtract them. So what is 4 minus 4? 0. So do we have to write it? No, so we can just cancel these out. So 2 squared, well, 2 squared and 8. This is your answer. You can also write, so 2 squared is 4 and to the 8. Again, either one of these are fine for your quiz. That one was a little tricky. Okay, but just making sure that we're at least understanding and getting to this step. Okay, and then from there, just knowing that we have to cancel out what we can. Okay, for the last one, I'm going to erase some of this. All right, do all of our terms have an exponent? No. Okay, so for this 2, we need to add a 1. For the n, we need to add a 1. So, now that they all have an exponent, we take this negative 2. What do? We distribute it to every term. So, we're going to have 2 to the first power times the negative 2, and to the third power times the negative 2, divided by, and to the second power times that negative 2 we distributed, and n to the first power times that negative 2 that we distributed. Okay, now we go ahead and multiply. So, 1 times the negative 2 is negative 2. And 3 times the negative 2 is negative 6. 2 times the negative 2 for your m is m negative 4. And for your n, 1 times the negative 2 is a negative 2. Okay, so now, are we done? No. Okay. We have to be able, oops. Let's see something. So, we have to move all of these to the other side because they're all negatives. So all of these are going to change sides. So you have your n to the 4th up top now, your n squared up top now, your 2 squared on the bottom, and your n to the 6th on the bottom. Okay, now you would then have to cancel these out, so you would subtract. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just leave it like this. So that was our answer for today. Before I confuse you even more. Alright, we're gonna leave that there for today. And that will work. For your quiz, if there was a problem like that, if you got that far, I would give you full credit. Okay? Alright, number 5. Okay, so this one is one of the easier ones, it's not hard. So, do all of our terms have an exponent? Okay, no, so we need to add a 1 as those exponents. Then what do? We distribute this through every single term. So we would have 4 to the 1 times -3. A to the -2 times a -3. B to the 3rd times a -3. And C, 1 times a -3. Alright, so then when we multiply these out, we get 4 to the -3rd. -2 times -3 is a +6. 3 times a -3 is -9. And 1 times a -3 is -3. Okay, now from here, we're looking at which ones are negative, which have negative exponents. So if we look, we see that the 4 has a negative exponent, the B has a negative exponent, and the C has a negative exponent. So from yesterday, what do we do with those? We move them to the bottom. So the only thing I have left up on top is that a to the 6, everything else goes to the bottom. So 4 to the 3rd goes to the bottom, B to the 9th goes to the bottom, and C to the 3rd goes to the bottom. And you would be done. Number 6. Okay, again, you're looking, do all of them have an exponent? The ones that do not, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a 1. Then you're going to take this 3, and you are going to distribute it to each term. So you would have 2 to the 1st times that 3 distributed. C to the 3rd times that 3 distributed. D to the 1st times the 3 distributed. And up to the 3rd times the 3 distributed. Okay, so then you go through. 1 times 3 is 3, so 2 to the 3rd. 3 times 3 is 9, so 3 C to the 9th. 1 times 3 is 3, so D to the 3rd. And 3 times 3 is 9, so F to the 9th. Okay, we don't have any negatives. Okay, or basically we can put this as our answer. You could also have had 8, C9, D3, F9 as your answer as well. Just solving that 2 to the 3rd problem. Okay, this last one. Okay, we have to add a 1 to that C to make sure that all of our terms have an exponent. Then we're taking this number outside the 0 and we're multiplying it by every term. So we have A, 3 times 0, B, which is 2, times that 0 we're distributing, and C to the 1st times that 0 we're distributing. So 3 times 0 is 0, B is 2 times 0, which is 0, and C is 1 times 0, which is 0. A to the 0 power is 1. So A to the 0 power is 1 times B to the 0 power, which is 1, times C to the 0 power, which is also 1, which would equal 1. Okay, so you can do all of that. Okay, you're just going to find out that it is 1 because A raised to the 0 power is 1. Okay, remember that you do have a quiz tomorrow. You will have homework tonight. Okay, it doesn't need to be complete. On Canvas tonight, I will post the key to your homework that you had last night. Okay, so make sure that you check that just to make sure that you are getting the right answers. And if you're not, you're able to see where you're making the mistake. Okay, and then make sure you're setting your quiz tomorrow. Okay, it's going to be some of these really easy questions. There's also going to be some of these really hard questions. So you want to make sure that you are understanding all of them. Okay, your homework for some of the harder questions. Okay, make sure you're able to do this as well. If not, feel free to email me, ask me. I will be at soccer fields till about 10 o'clock tonight. If I have a break anytime in between, I will go to my computer and I will check to see if anybody has emailed me. Okay. If not, I might email back at 10, okay, or I may email early that morning. Okay, so just check if you do have a question. Yeah, okay, quiz tomorrow, make sure you're studying, okay, make sure you do your homework, make sure you check it on Canvas. This video will also be posted on Canvas, okay, if you need to watch it again, if I went too fast, or you still understand something, okay.